Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Top Producers Nation podcast. This, of course, is the podcast that is made for top producers, with top producers, and by none other than top producers here in the Tampa Bay market. Top Producers Nation, though, is a platform that's designed to help agents anywhere in the country become a top producer in your desired market. You can check out our resources that we have and the community that we've built online at topproducersnation.com. to learn more about how to be able to take advantage of that. You can actually even claim your free report on that page, and that free report is designed to give you 4 principles of top producers to help you grow your business. So feel free to check that out. As you know, with our we are local and powered by the Tampa Bay Real Producers platform here in the Tampa Bay market. We are back in our main home base studio here in beautiful South Tampa. Excited to be back here. We were missing it for about a month, and today we get to get back into the home base. So excited about that. I know Rob is fired up to be able to deliver here back at our home base as well. Many of you know that we have our partner series that we've been bringing a lot of our partners that are local here to the Tampa Bay area onto this podcast. And today we have one of our partners, and that is Jenni Canning with Breathe Easy Mold Removal. Jenni, how are you today?
I'm well, sir. Thank you so much.
No doubt. It's great to have you here. You guys have been a partner now with Tampa Bay Real Producers for about a year. I think it was earlier in 2024.
Yes.
And I know with some of the storms and stuff that we had in late 2024, you guys have been pretty busy and swamped with a lot of the work. So it's good to have you as a partner. And obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about Jenni's business and how all that works. Let's start a little bit with your background, though. Did you grow up in Tampa Bay? How did you get here? If not, and eventually, how'd you end up starting this business?
Sure. Well, I actually came from a little further north. A lot of the snowbirds in my family came down here, migrated south, and then, of course, needed some assistance. So we all kind of flocked this way. Been here since '87, finished high school, went to college here.
Okay.
And worked for a fella mold company for 11, 12 years. Before
Oh, wow. So you were in the business pretty early then.
Yes, and it's an acquired taste, I got to say. It's not for everyone. But
when you were in school, was that always the dream job, as I was going to be helping with mold removal?
Never.
No,
never
okay.
did I think I can't wait to crawl under a house. It was never my ambition in any way. But, I've always been in the administrative end of a lot of businesses for other people. And it just so happened I found myself in a position where, I could kind of take it a little further, but I had to be very hands-on. So
Sure.
we did start, lugging drywall and wearing Tyvek suits and a lot of, fun.
Yeah, learning all the nitty-gritty work, huh?
Absolutely.
So you said you were in someone else's company for about 11 or 12 years first?
I was.
Okay.
And I started, again, down boots on the ground. I was crawling under the house and making it happen. But you learn so much that way. And then the very first, most important thing I learned is I don't want to do that forever. So I did find a way to kind of transition into inspections and then eventually into a business owner, which I bought that company from that gentleman, actually.
Oh, wow. So this is the same company that you were an employee for at one point?
Correct.
And now you're the owner of it. So when did you buy Breathe Easy?
Back in 2012. The owner
Okay.
kept threatening to retire. So I found myself in, another great position to make it happen. So I went back to college, got my bachelor's in business, and I bought the company outright, moved
Very
it from
cool.
Bradenton this way.
Very cool. And that was your first experience and maybe only experience in owning a business? Or did you
Yes.
always want to run your own business?
I knew I'd be running someone's business. So
Yeah.
the college degree was going to come in handy regardless, but it was kind of crunch time at that point.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Makes sense. So you had the company since 2012. So, I mean, you've been over a decade now in running the business. Let's talk a little bit about exactly what areas you serve. Are you more than just Tampa Bay? Do you focus mostly on Tampa Bay, Pinellas County? What's your main focus areas?
Well, we were for many years down in Bradenton, so we serviced the Bradenton, Sarasota, Manatee community, as well as the side of the bridge as well, kind of stopping about Tampa, Clearwater area. But now that we've moved to St. Pete, this is more a central location, so anything within 50 miles of here. Unfortunately, due to the hurricanes and the overwhelming work that we have tried locally to stay Pinellas no further than Palmetto, Tampa, South Tampa as well.
Got it. So the vast majority of your work is Pinellas County by the beaches,
yeah.
I would assume?
Yes.
Gotcha. And you were mentioning that even before the storms, you guys were still pretty loaded, right? Pretty busy with a lot of the different work that was coming in. So when the storm happened, I mean, help us understand a little bit about what that process was like were you just like inundated with just phone calls? Did it come in different ways? Like how did that whole thing affect your business?
Absolutely. Well, the very first calls that we got, and there was still water everywhere, were from previous clients. Can you help us? Can you help us? And if I helped every single previous client I could never accommodate it, even if I had all the equipment and the manpower.
Right.
We were somewhat committed to other projects, again, being scheduled out a month or so already. It was difficult for us to go into damage mode and still accommodate, again, the people we already had scheduled. So it was a little logistics situation there for a minute, but we overcame it pretty quickly. And once determining how very little resources people had early on in the game, kind of helped us determine who we could help and when.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. It was a challenge, but I feel like we did well.
What does the team look like now, Jenny? Do you have employees? Do you have 1099s? What's the structure of the organization?
Gotcha. Well, we do go through an employee leasing service and all of that. So we have 5 full-time employees and 1 part-time secretary slash accountant slash mediator. I mean, she does it all. So we do kind of fall under those guidelines so that I'm not the one forced to do payroll and all of the other administrative that I no longer have to do. I love that. But
so you get to climb under houses again? Is that what
I
you're
do. And I do all the inspections and estimates myself. Anytime you call, you will get me on the phone. Whether it's 10:30 at night, you send me a text message, it comes directly to me. Okay. You'll never get an answering service. You'll never get... I feel like that very first interaction with people when they call me is important. They need to be able to ask me directly rather than wait for a call back from an inspector. So I feel like that really sets a tone for our relationship moving forward if I'm able to help you.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Now, what if you get somebody who calls, say, from like Hillsborough County or Brandon or Valrico or some other area that you might not be serving regularly? Do you have like referral partners that you would send out, or how do you handle that?
We do, and actually some of them we've been noticing in Tampa Bay Real Producers magazine as well. It's nice to kind of collaborate with those folks and work hand in hand. I mean, we all can't be everywhere all the time, so
yeah, for sure. So there is a little bit of a network there.
There is, and it's great.
Good to know. Okay, makes sense. So tell us a little bit about, just in your years now of owning the company, what's your relationship been like in working with real estate agents? When have you been able to find yourself serving their needs, or is it like at what point, I guess, in the process does that usually happen? Help educate us a little bit on that.
Well, and prior to the storm, I would say probably 60% of our referrals were through our realtors, our friends and partners. And same to them. We all have kind of a Rolodex, and we share networking and vendors and different things and feedback and experiences. And it really is nice to have those relationships. Just yesterday, I got 4 calls, and they were all referrals from realtors who we've inspected for, done work for. They've seen the results of our work, maybe not worked with us directly. And it's really, it makes us feel good, of course, but it's nice that that confidence level is already out there.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, you guys, again, have been around for a while now, so you've built a little reputation. In your industry, is like your Google reviews, or is there anything online that you guys really view as big to kind of build that credibility, or is there something else that you focused on?
We recently had our website redone, and we've got some kinks in the chain that they're working on in terms of leaving Google reviews, contacting us, but they're going to work that out here pretty quickly. But yeah, Google reviews, obviously, with any business, it's very important, because you as a client can look at a company, and although you're not seeing every aspect of their business, you are kind of getting the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Sure.
And I feel that's very important. So we definitely ask all of our clients to leave us a review. Even just if you have a question or a concern.
Yeah.
That's a good way to reach out to us and get a response.
I think you mentioned before that you're getting about 60% of your business still through like your referral partners, through agents. Does that mean the other 40% are just from homeowners directly? Either they find you on Google or somewhere else and reach out to you?
Exactly. We do other marketing, and we do a lot of direct marketing. It seems to be coming back, handing out business cards and that kind of thing. But we also have some digital billboards and some other things that kind of drum up and a little more awareness in some of these residential areas.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. When you're working through the agent connections that you've had, in your experience, have you found that most of the time it's agents with on the buyer side, where they're moving into a home for the first time and there happens to be some existing damage already, and maybe they bought it at a discount or whatever, and that's where you're coming in to help serve that need? Or is it more on the listing side where somebody's trying to get the house ready, for sale, and they still have some damage that they want to take care of before they sell it, or maybe it's a little bit of both. Like what's been your experience there?
Well, now it's funny you say that because obviously there's been an uptick in real estate until recently. So over the last couple of years, maybe since COVID, home values have gone up. People are taking more pride in their homes, maybe because for COVID they were spending more time at home. I'm not sure what the case was. Prior to that, it was mostly buyers. It was a majority of the calls that we got were for buyers, just wanting to know more about the property. It's a big investment. And
sure.
A lot, for some people, the biggest one they'll ever make. But I've seen, again, since COVID, more of a shift in pre-sale inspections, pre-listing inspections, people being more proactive and getting their home ready for sale. I'm sure it has a lot to do with they want to get as much bang for their buck.
For sure.
But a great deal of it has to do with the stress that can be involved when you determine there's an issue in your home as the buyers are walking through.
Yeah.
That's really not the most opportune time to come across an issue and have to deal with it.
So are you also licensed home inspectors as well?
We are not.
Okay. So you're not doing necessarily a full home inspection, but you're coming into play when there's an existing mold issue already in place, or are they utilizing your services to see if there is one?
Well, quite often I'm at the party. So when the termite guy is there, the roofer guy, the wind mitt, the home inspector, the buyers, the sellers are all having donuts and coffee. We're crawling all over their house. I do feel like what I'm doing would be considered a home inspection, but I'm looking for mold, moisture, water damage, air quality, environmental conditions. So I'm looking for very different things than what the actual home inspector is looking for.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you find that, again, the people who generally you have as clients already know that there's some sort of a mold problem and they're just needing to get it remediated? Are you on the remediation side as well?
We do offer that service.
Yeah.
However, we can't wear the same hat for a particular party. We're either the inspector or we are the remediator. So quite often they'll have a home inspection, determine there is a problem. They don't need my inspection services at that point. They just need remediation. So Again, I'm getting a lot of those calls, mostly from our realtor friends, because they were there. They now have a report, and they can now help their client move forward. Yep.
Oh, that makes sense. So I didn't recognize that. So you actually do provide both really services, whether it's still finding if there is an issue, that's kind of the inspection side. Dealing with the issue would be the remediation side. You can handle both. Yes. Obviously I don't know a ton about your industry, nothing compared to what you know about mold removal in terms of the art of that. Cause I'm sure that there's a whole process involved. We've actually had to go through that in our own house unfortunately twice with a leaky sink that we didn't realize was causing some problems. So, we had to remodel our kitchen because of that, and, had the whole, tarp thing basically set up with all the mold testing and all of that jazz. We had to do that a couple of years back. And so is that kind of like your typical service, would you say, is just, doing the testing, making sure that you understand exactly what the levels are of mold, and then putting some sort of a treatment plan in place? Would that kind of be the bulk of your services?
Well, I'm going to say it's probably 50% of our services, the remediation being the other 50%. But again, quite often some other inspector has already provided that service and they'll come to me. So now I get the opportunity to sit down with the client at being a licensed assessor and say, okay, let's interpret the information you've gotten from other parties. Let's put it all together, come up with that treatment plan like you mentioned, and then from there we can estimate to do the treatment plan. We can perform it. So it's, a lot of it is me doing the inspection and the assessment, passing it off, knowing another party will step in, or being that other party to step in once the preliminaries have been done. So it's about half and half.
Is there anything you feel like real estate agents should know, or in your experience, it was always good if they did know X that helped the process go smoother at all, in how that, how they would want to set the right expectations maybe with their clients if they know they're going to be utilizing your services?
Sure. Well, if you're on the seller's end, for sure, consider doing the pre-listing inspections. Let's get some of these problems addressed, out of the way, documented, so that you guys can move forward seamlessly through the selling process. For buyers, certainly we want their real estate agents to be their advocate. If they see something, smell something, just don't have a good feeling about something, take that extra step, have it inspected. But real estate agents are the eyes and nose and ears and the advocate for their client. So, just be prepared to bring a flashlight. Every real estate agent should have a flashlight.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, is it all types of property that you service? Single family homes, condos, multifamily? Do you do commercial as well? What does that look like?
We do some commercial work. I mean, keeping in mind that we're a small company, we only have 5 employees, so
Yeah.
I don't take on projects that are just without way too much for us to handle.
Sure.
With quantity, you lose quality, and we don't want to do that. So we do limit ourselves, but we do quite a bit of commercial work. Majority of it being residential. Although lately we have been doing a lot of boats, cars, RVs.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, areas that
Okay.
were flooded, of course.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
For sure. What is the relationship with the insurance companies come into play? Do you guys get involved with that at all? Do you handle those communications for the client in any way, or what's your relationship like there?
Sure. We try not to get involved in the insurance in terms of the client's claim in the middle of their relationship. That's for them to navigate. Every situation is different, as we've all learned with this past hurricane. The rules are constantly changing, and homeowners, unfortunately, are different levels of what they need to prove and disprove. So my role in all of that is to be the third party, to be the one to document the conditions, to give you everything you need to help navigate your claim and move forward. But I'm not going to be the one to call your adjuster and demand this and that. I'm
Right.
not
You're not handling that negotiation.
That is not my role.
And unfortunately, that is kind of like a negotiation nowadays, isn't it?
It is, and I really feel like it'd be a conflict of interest if I did step into a lot of those situations.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing some horror stories ever since the storms, of course, with even agents that are in our network that lost their home, or obviously have had clients lose homes and are still actually waiting, and trying to get some progress made here, obviously months later. So it is sad to see some of the after effects, of a storm like that. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of that too, from your perspective.
Definitely developed a little PTSD this last couple of, 3-4 months.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able in my industry, and I sleep well at night, going into someone's home, one person who had one water heater leak, no one else on their block affected, to say, okay, here we have a solution. We can get back from this. We can bring you to, where you need to be. But to see every single house on every single block for months and months, it is catastrophic.
It's overwhelming, yeah.
Yeah, it is a little PTSD, but again, that's why it's taken us a minute to kind of regroup, come up for air. But we're seeing things come to fruition, like you're back in your studio. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that things are moving forward, progressing. People are getting back in their homes. So
Yeah,
it's a good
no doubt.
feeling there.
It is heartbreaking to see some of the.
It
I remember for like a couple of weeks there, even after the storm, like my social media feed, which is pretty much filled up with real estate agents, was just loaded with one horror story after another. So that was not a fun experience at all to have to go through. I guess in general, when you think about your industry, people aren't calling you for fun things, right? So it's not like it's a sexy industry from that standpoint, other than it's obviously critical and needed when the need is there. I guess the biggest thing is to try to catch problems early.
Yes.
Would you agree with that? Like if you, like you said, if you do kind of smell something, or for whatever reason, even though you might not think that there's any sort of mold issue in the attic or under the sink or wherever the case may be, just trying to get that checked out early is probably the biggest key. Would that make sense?
Absolutely. Not only will it save you quite a bit of time, money, aggravation, but you can get on top of something before it becomes a problem.
Right.
We're so reliant on our air conditioner systems here in Florida. And people tell me, oh, well, it's kind of been on the fritz for the last couple of summers. And now we have surface mold growing through our entire home. If you'd have called me when you smelled it, when it wasn't acting right, it would have cost you minimal inspection fee, and then could do the solution before it became, now we're out of our home, or we're displaced, or now we're making a claim, or who knows what, someone got sick.
Is that generally the biggest culprit in your industry, is the AC?
It is the root of all evil, as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely.
Not a huge fan of ACs. Well, maybe you are. I don't know.
I am. It's just the fact that we're so reliant on them. And unfortunately, we have a lot of folks who come from other places who aren't really versed in what an HVAC system does.
Yeah.
They have old furnaces up north. They open the windows during the summer.
Right.
They're a very different monster here. So I feel like education is really crucial, especially if you're coming from another climate, or you've just bought a home. For years, I wasn't allowed to touch my father's thermostat. I bought my own house and had to learn now how to do all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So I do feel like, you can definitely prevent a bigger issue just by simply being educated or calling someone to educate you.
Do you guys do anything in your business to put on classes or any sort of educational thing like that, to whether it's for agents or just clients in general? Is there anything you guys have done there?
Sure. It's been quite some time, but prior to all of this, social media and everything, so we're talking early 2000s. We had a big Yellow Page ad, and they threw in a website. Now we have a big website, and they throw in a Yellow Pages ad. But back then, when we had MLS meetings at Realtor's office, and they brought bagels, and someone brought a PowerPoint, we were pretty much doing that consistently. Again, down Sarasota area. To just educate realtors and just kind of have a homeowner 101, what to teach your new home buyers and et cetera. But every inspection is an opportunity for me to educate whoever's buying the home, selling the home.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to still interact and be able to do that. However, it's not just to a room full of people.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I guess
I'd like to get back to that, though. I feel it's important.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of the brokers and even agents many times that we have in our network will have people like you in their offices regularly, like this one right here, right? Just to be able to do that, have your presentation, and they bring their teams together. So that might be an easy way for you to get connected with some of the people here through our network as well, and make that happen maybe more often this year in 2025 for sure. So let's switch a little bit to just some of the personal side for people to get to know you a little bit more, Jenni, and learn a little bit more about your story. So you said that you've grown up here now since the 80s, I guess. Are you married? Do you have kids? What's your story there?
I'm not currently married. I'm in a relationship with a gentleman. We've been together 13 years. I have a couple of grown children and now a couple of grandchildren and some bonus grandkids, which is wonderful.
So you got a legacy going there.
I do.
Are they local or all over the country?
They're fairly local. For the most of us,
Nice.
are within 25 miles of each other, which is great.
Yeah. What do you love to do for fun when you're not digging under people's homes? If you ever have the time for that.
I do have an herb garden that unfortunately was devastated by the storm, so I'm trying to work on that and get that back to life. But I'm definitely an avid pool player. I
Really?
went to Vegas with the ladies national team 15
Like
20 years
billiards?
ago. Yes.
Oh, nice.
So I'm gotten back
So you got
into
some
that.
skills with the billiard tables, huh?
A little bit. don't play for money, but yeah.
I remember I used to play a lot when I went to University of Tampa for school. So my roommate was kind of into pool, and every now and again we'd go out and try to, we didn't want to hustle anybody because I wasn't good enough to make that happen, but we would have some fun for sure. So how often do you get to play?
Well, I'm on a league, so I play at least one night a week with them, but usually drop in a couple of tournaments here and there. And I've been doing a lot of practice because I was out of the game for a minute, but looking forward to maybe next year getting back to Vegas.
There you go. So you go to Vegas for this?
Well, if we do well enough, we get a chance to go to nationals in
So
Vegas.
there's some competition involved, huh?
There is.
Is it a team that you're on?
It is, yes.
Okay. Cool.
So,
how many people are on your team?
I think there's only 5 or 6 of us currently. A lot of them are beer drinkers, so we're trying to get them a little more skilled up so when we get to Vegas, we're ready. But
ready to go, huh?
Yeah.
So what do you do, like a rotation schedule or something? Like you play a game and then have the next person, or do you rotate per each shot?
Well, no, you actually rotate per matches. So
Per match, okay.
It's all based on handicaps, how many games you will play in that match.
I got you.
Yeah, and then we get scores at the end of it for being good players and being congenial. And
so where do you rank out of your 5? Are you the anchor? Are you the lead? What's the deal with your story?
I feel like I'm an anchor, but you're going to have to ask my captain about that. It's a new team that I've joined, but I have kind of impressed them with some of the skills and what I've got, so I feel like they're going to be bumping my ranking up here very soon.
There you go. There you go. So if an agent wants to get on your good side or connect with you, it's all about pool, right? Just
hey, I carry
get you
my
a new
stick
pool
with
stick or something, right? I'm
That's
sure you
right.
want you have very specialized needs though in that area, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
James Adams. He was a guy
That's right. James Adams was a pool player. We had him on the show.
Fantastic.
He's a top producer up in he's like Pasco County, I believe, right?
Pasco.
Yeah, so he's a little bit more north. But yeah, that would be a good introduction.
Wife are both. They both compete.
Fantastic.
That's right. That's right. We actually had them in the magazine with some pictures of him with competing on the billiard side. So
I'll have to take a
yeah,
look at
you
that.
guys should connect for sure. That sounds
For sure.
good. Okay, a couple rapid fire questions for you. You ready?
Sure.
So, do you have a favorite book or movie? Well, not movie. How about book or seminar, author even? Anybody who has ever made an impact personally or professionally on you, would you say?
Gotcha. Well, there would actually be quite a list, but I'm going to say, and the ones that I keep on my desk even to this day is Who Moved My Cheese and the 1 Minute Man.
It's a great book, yeah.
I mean,
Especially for a business owner.
It is, and I actually bought copies for my staff, and they laughed at me a couple of years ago. But since they've read them, they're like, you know what? I can kind of relate, and I can see. So it's fun. I mean, I do read a lot of personal stuff, but honestly, lately I've been so busy with industry stuff, haven't had a chance.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the industry thing again. I was just curious, like what gets you excited as the business owner now? I mean, do you set annual goals at all, or I don't know. Again, every industry is different as to how you would view that. Obviously, the number of jobs that you would do is something that you can obviously affect based on your marketing and so forth, but it's also a lot of it comes to you, right?
Right.
Based on needs and what's available. So I was curious, how do you think about like your business in that way? Do you set annual goals? How do you get excited about certain milestones that you're trying to go after, or do you just kind of take the business as it comes?
Well, we were taking the business as it comes, especially again during COVID. After that, we were kind of put ourselves in a position where we could pick and choose. And I think our biggest goal over the last couple of years is learning more, experiencing more. So we're taking on different types of jobs, maybe things that we haven't, marketed for or kind of geared our thinking toward. So it's nice that we're seeing a lot of different aspects of the mold industry that we would strictly before only take residential, and now we've delved into some other bigger things, which diversified a little bit, which is
Yeah.
great. So experience and knowledge was really what we were going for. Keeping in mind that we are a small company, so we really can't take on much more than what we can handle. So in terms of taking on more jobs or making more sales, we really weren't thinking that way because we've already kind of capped out to where we were and didn't want to
Right.
take on too much more. But the experience has been phenomenal.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me as far as like maybe adding services and so forth over time if there's a need for that. And obviously that would require the education part, right? To be able to do that. But I can see where that would play into the growth, right, of the company for sure. Back to the rapid fire question thing. I was going to ask you before about a favorite movie or TV show. Anything come to mind?
Oh, I just finished watching The Good Place, and I'm sure I'll have to go back and watch it again.
The Good Place.
The Good
Rob's nodding his head over there. He must be a fan. Yeah,
is awesome.
I haven't seen it actually. What is it on Netflix
is.
or what?
Is it Netflix, Hulu?
Netflix.
Possibly,
Okay,
yeah.
Interesting. It's a TV show.
It's a series, yeah.
Gotcha.
Kristen Bell.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to check it out. Cool.
Maddie was the one who was watching it, and then I just happened to like pop in a couple of times.
The Good Place. It's a comedy.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Always
It's a
good for
little dark
recommendations.
comedy.
I write down some of these different things so I can always check them out later, All right. So this is what I would call our legacy question, Jenny, just to get people to think about the future a little bit. So when that day does come, hopefully many, many years from now, and you're sitting on that rocking chair and thinking about your legacy, right, and the business you've been building all these years, obviously your personal relationships as well and the importance of them. What do you think would be most important to you in terms of what you'd want to be most remembered for, what you'd want that legacy to be if you were able to, look back?
Absolutely. And it's intentionally, at the beginning of all this, when I did decide, okay, now I get to be a mold guy, the mold lady, again, never having that thinking before, was always I want to leave something behind. I want to be able to support myself and my family for the duration. And when I do end up in that rocking chair, what am I physically going to leave for my family? So I'm hoping they do kind of, take what I've built and run with it. It definitely is a good career and a good industry.
Keep the business going in the family.
Plenty of it here in Florida. That'll never.
Do any
ever
of your
change.
kids work with you now?
My daughter is my office manager and secretary. My
Okay.
other daughter, Samantha, actually ran one of my remediation crews.
Oh, cool.
And was working on getting licenses. So, yes, to some degree, it's kind of a family business.
Nice.
So I'm hoping that, number one, I can collect a paycheck while I'm sitting in that rocking chair. That is one of the ultimate goals, of course. But I do want to make sure that as we continue, whether I'm in the midst of it or not, that we continue that trust, we continue that integrity, that we do what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it, and we don't, under promise, over deliver. We want to stay definitely meeting or exceeding standards, always, always. And anytime someone talks about me, in a rocking chair or not, I kind of want those words associated with our reputation and with me specifically.
Yeah, no doubt, Jenny. I appreciate you being here for sure. If somebody wanted to pick your brain a little bit more, whether it's an agent who knows that they have clients who are going to have your needs, or they wanted to make sure you're one of their preferred vendors on their list, maybe it's even a homeowner who just has a need and they need someone to reach out to in an urgent situation, what's the best way for someone to reach you?
Well, certainly going to our website and requesting a consultation of some sort, breatheeasymoldremoval.com. You can always email me, breatheeasymoldremoval@yahoo.com. Email, text message are the best ways. Cell phone number is 727-564-8065.
Cool. and we'll put that up in the description. I know you guys have a Facebook page as well, right?
We do also, yes.
Yep. So you can find them there. Again, it's Breathe Easy Mold Removal. You can find that on their website. Just Google them. You can also find it on Facebook for sure. We appreciate you being a partner with Tampa Bay Real Producers and being able to come in today and take a little of your day away. I know it's not easy to get you to be able to get away from the job, and I know that there's a lot of people calling on you, and you probably had your phone blow up about 50 times during our hangout here today, right? So I'm glad that we can get you in, though, and hopefully we'll have you a part of some of our events this year in 2025 so our audience could get to know more about you and your story, and I think this episode hopefully will help them find that, since you can find this on our YouTube channel at any time. We'll end with a call to action, which we always do to the audience. And with all of our episodes, we always want to emphasize the importance of taking action. Tony Robbins talks a lot about that. Whenever you listen to something or read a book or do any sort of audio, if you don't do something, and do even if it's something little, something small, just to take action on what you just heard, then you end up missing a lot of the value. And that's really the same thing with these episodes. So maybe there was something that we talked about today that, you just want to add Jenni and her services onto your vendor list. Could be a very simple thing, and maybe a follow-up conversation could be that action step for you. Maybe you need to do a little bit of research on your own about a client or two of yours that's going through a situation, and you might need to, you heard Jenni talk about the importance of the educational part of this and how to do why it's important to do pre-inspections even more nowadays than it was before. So, what is it for you? Maybe it's even just the book or the show recommendation that Jenni threw out there that you want to check out on your own. But take action, do something that's going to propel you forward. That way you'll build that habit and that muscle, and you'll start getting used to doing that every time that you listen to either one of our episodes or get inspired somewhere else as well. If you don't already subscribe to our show, just click the little button below. That way you'll be notified every time we drop a new episode, which is weekly, with our Top Producers Nation podcast. Once again, check us out at topproducersnation.com to visit the community, get your free report on how to be one of the top producers in your desired market. And we will, of course, see you on the next episode of the Top Producers Nation podcast. We'll see you later.